Good morning, good evening, knowledge seekers and executors. Welcome to my channel. Today I'm going to talk about my second video of the series of microservices architecture. So far in the first chapter which we talked about the evolution, how it happened from 1980s to 2000. It was monolithic mainframe applications in 1980s. In 1990s you have client server architecture, and 2000 it started with the browser because of the internet was very popular. So started with the browser based web applications, which will be enormous advantages over the internet, and the users can access the software of the applications through internet, and they can get have their own browsers to call the applications, and that is most advantage. And thousands of hundreds and thousands of users were getting the applications over the internet and using and accessing. And certainly you have disadvantages, right? So what are the disadvantages, especially why we evolved from there to the current one? In between we have SOA architecture that is came into the picture. Why? Because in 2010s, if you remember, the mobile has been started, people have started using, you need mobile apps, right? So for getting that, like SOA, service oriented architecture, has been introduced. So the advantages of service oriented architecture, it will create the desktop and web applications, and because of that the users has started increased, and millions of users has using the same software, and that give you enormous advantages to people using the software. So that is the SOA architecture, service oriented architecture, from MVC, which was like in way back 2000s, and come back to 2010s. It has been started with the services, which is coming into the SOA. It's like services. It's people talking about services rather than all these SOA services become like web mobile app, and which were giving you the advantage of accessibility and availability. However, you need to think it like why SOA was not good as of now, so compared to current RESTful services. See, the disadvantage is, so again all things will be deploying into one particular jar, web jar. I still remember I used SOA applications, SOA based applications, which will be deployed into the servers, and we have to go for the weekends, especially to make it the users cannot having the less usage. So especially on the weekends we consider like people will be using less software on that, and adding all the enhancements and any defects or bugs to that particular deployment, and deploy it over the weekend to reduce the what do you call the usage, I mean reducing the complaint from the user, because like when the deployment happen there is a downtime for the applications or softwares. So predominantly that leads the complaints from the user. So we need to notice the users, hey, like there is a downtime, or like there is a latency, so you have to cope up on that until the deployment completed. So these are all the disadvantages of the SOA based applications that create monolithic, what do you call, which we're talking about, microservices. So microservices has emerged as leading approach for building large scale based applications and distributed applications. It enables organizations to develop, deploy and scale software systems by decommissioning the independent services of the microservices. So however, designing microservices requires careful consideration of the factors, various factors, such as service communication and data management and fault tolerance, and there is like observability and scalability and security, deployment strategies. These are all things which will be the factors behind the microservice architecture. So I'm going to talk individually on each one, because like each one has a in-depth knowledge or in-depth information will be needed. And in observability pattern, again you have like saga patterns, and you have a couple of other patterns which will be health patterns, and there is API gateway patterns, and data management, like you have a couple of other patterns, and all those things I would like to go in depth in my next videos. If you are not subscribed my channel, please subscribe it to get latest videos about this series. Thank you so much for watching. Bye bye.